Thank you very much. We are very honored to be here and to have this reschedule. Thank you very much to the whole team to arrange this. And I hope everybody had a nice lunch and you are energized for our talk. My name is Zuzana Bastian and I'm here with Lauren and Amber. We are all founders, co-founders of digital fashion projects brands. And yeah, before I introduce myself, maybe I will start with you, Lauren. Can you tell about yourself?
Sure. Hi, everyone. Nice to see you here. I'm Lauren. I also go by Calo in my digital alter ego. I live in Paris. I work as a luxury fashion designer for the past 5 years. But with COVID, confinement, all of these elements, I came across digital fashion and it really inspired me to start something new. So I'm the founder of Alterrage, which is a DAO-led fashion label, and we create product in physical, augmented, and digital spaces. So ideally, in the future, creating kind of this interoperable identity. So yeah, that's me.
Perfect. What about you, Amber?
Yeah, so my name is Amber. I'm co-founder and creative director of the Fabricant. We are a digital-only fashion house, and we create clothing that is always digital and never physical. Because at some point we decided that there's enough clothes in this world, and if we stop producing clothes now, we can wear clothes for the next 50 years still with all the clothes that are still on this planet. So the question really was for us, how can we start to express ourselves with using digital technology to create new narratives and new storytelling? Yeah, which to me was way more exciting than the physical world, because all the materials have not been used before, and we can wear water, we can wear light, we can wear whatever we want, and we can be whatever we want to be. So as a fashion designer, that was very exciting to me, and that's why we started in 2018, the Fabricant, and ever since then, that's been one big experiment. Yeah.
Great. I'm really excited to be here with you because you are obviously the expert in the domain. My name is Susana, and I've co-founded JEVELS, which stands for Virtual Jewels, which is also an NFT platform for virtual jewelry. And we collaborate with designers just like Amber and Lauren to bring virtual jewelry to life and into the metaverse. You can also see some of our pieces on Lauren's and my pictures, which we co-created and brought to the virtual space together. Okay, let's start with this first images and maybe with the history of NFT fashion. Amber, can you tell us about the very beginning, how you started, what led to, you obviously said sustainability and so on. I think sustainability in the fashion industry fueled all of our projects, but how did you start to focus on the digital rather than the physical?
Yeah, I think it's always an interesting start because in a way you can do so much more with digital fashion than what you can do with the physical world. And this, well, as you can see in the back, this is the first NFT dress that we did together with Dapper Labs. So Dapper Labs, of course, creators of CryptoKitties. Back in 2019, they actually messaged us like, hey, we love what you guys do. We love the digital fashion. Like, it wasn't really a thing back then. And they said like, well, could you actually create a digital dress that we could auction on an Ethereum conference in New York? And we said, yeah, why not? That would be really cool. So we designed this dress, which actually has a print of like smudged CryptoKitties on it. You can't really see it well, but there's like a little pun in the print and the textile. And the model who you see wearing it is Johanna Jaskowska, and she is like a very famous Insta filter creatress, and she creates really beautiful things. And well, maybe 50 people saw her walking that day in New York, and maybe 50 people saw her walking in real life in her normal clothes. But millions and millions and millions of people saw her wearing this garment online. And that's the power of what digital can really do, because if you can, you know, if you look at, for instance, influencers, how they get clothing sent to their houses and they all wear it in their closet gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and it's just so much piles of stuff just piling up. Like, why would you buy something digitally, it gets sent to your home, and then you wear it on your Instagram and post it again online? That's just, to me, that's just really weird. It doesn't make any sense. So, like, creating this new experience where someone would be able to wear that in the virtual world and create a buzz with that, because this dress sold for, 54 ETH back then, which is a lot. But back then it was only $9,500. But it was a milestone mark, because all the fashion brands were like, "Are you serious? Is this dress like is it not even a physical dress? Like, is somebody paying money for that?" People got really angry with us as well. They were like, "What is this bullshit? Like, is this the new Emperor's new clothes? Like, are you kidding me? Like, is this what the world has come to?" And then we were like, okay, finally, we got the haters. That's a good sign, right? So this dress got sold, and the new owner was one of the founders of a very crypto security company, and he bought it for his wife, and she wore it again on her socials. So yeah, in 2019, this was like the first kind of step. And we didn't know back then that it was called an NFT. Like, the word NFT was not really widely used, so we just always called it a dress on the blockchain. And for 1.5 years, I had to explain, like, yeah, it's like a unique digital item, that's only yours. And a lot of people didn't get it. But then after this whole boom, NFT boom started, like, then people were like, "Oh, whoa, you guys, like, is that an NFT, or how does it work?" And yeah, that was a really interesting experience, and you can see where the market is at now. Like, it's insane, and the potential that it still has. Because if we change the way we dress, and if we make it digital first and physical second, that's gonna be so altering for the entire world. Like, imagine not having to bring a suitcase to where you're traveling. Imagine me wearing digital looks right now. Would be so much more fun. So there's just a lot of interesting developments that still can happen. I'm really excited for what's still to come. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really impressive. I really like this story, and it's really encouraging that we are talking about NFT fashion not just as collectibles, but really as wearables. And I think it's interesting how the owner saw this potential already back then, 2019, where actually it was a collectible, right? And now the owner can wear the dress through many different means, right? Yeah, so I think Lauren and myself, we came into the world of digital fashion approximately at the same time, beginning of 2021. And we collaborated on the first NFT Virtual Jewelry, which was born in a live broadcast on Yahoo Finance by Megan Casper, as you can see on the second image, which are entirely virtual earrings, but you can wear them on Zoom calls, in live meetings on Yahoo Finance or YouTube and so on. Flavia here, you also own one pair, right? You also wear them on your meetings. So Lauren, tell me a little bit more about the story, how you came to this design.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so we met, right, beginning of last year, and you kind of proposed to us a collaboration. So for us at Alterrage, we have about 10 people on our core team, and we created, starting with AR. I think it's very interesting because it's very now. We're already very used to using filters. The metaverse, I mean, who here can say when we will be in the metaverse all day? I'm not currently, but I do use filters quite often. So we started there. We also believe that kind of finding the bridge between the physical and the digital worlds is going to be very interesting. So with this collaboration, we began with a concept for the collection. It's actually about e-waste, because with every collection we bring in an environmental or social cause and kind of lead that as not only an aesthetical direction, but also share kind of a profit percentage of those sales to also solve problems in the real world. So these earrings were kind of the first example we did. Collaborated with my team to create the design. We did the 3D modeling, and then we put it into Lens, where that is connected like with Snapchat, so quite usable, easy. And so then with JEVELS was then minted on your marketplace. And you can either pay also in fiat or crypto. So the idea is to be accessible. And so how can people actually start wearing filter fashion now and not just have to wait for the metaverse? So then we had the chance for Megan Casper, who is here. Hello. And
we have a live fashion show.
Yeah.
Great.
Wow, we're like really well synced here with the color. Huh? I think we should take a photo later.
Nice.
You need some digital fashion, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Hybrid fashion.
Great.
This is great.
Exciting.
Thank you. We'll
All
see
right.
you there.
But yeah, so to wrap that up, so Megan Casper, she is the co-founder of Red DAO, and so she wore these earrings on Yahoo Finance, and it really, was proof how easy it is to start using this now. And so I think no one really took it so seriously until we saw that, and we really realized there is a potential here.
Well, excuse me, we took it seriously.
Okay, we also took it seriously, but
because we. Since we started with JEVELS, I started JEVELS with my sister, and we work both at big global corporations, and we sit in Zoom meetings 10 hours a day, right? And the idea behind JEVELS was like, why do I have to dress for my business meetings physically if I'm just sitting in virtual calls? And this is what Amber said before. There is so much potential in wearing digital fashion already now, and I think starting with AR filters is really a great example. But we also see big companies coming into the space. At one point, launching collectible NFTs, maybe just like Dolce & Gabbana and Artifact. These are already wearable as well. But Amber, I know that you have a big experience with working with big brands. You worked with Adidas, Puma, I think H&M. How is your experience, and how is it? Is it difficult to align your values from Web 2 to Web 3? How was your experience with this?
Yeah, I think part of our company has been also to push the fashion industry forward, to work with them on creative concepts and to really try and see how we can help them move away from the wasteful side that they had and still have actually. We at some point we said, hey, we still want to do projects with you guys. Like there was a lot of a marketing side to what we were doing in our company to keep ourselves afloat. Like that was how we were making money. And next to that, we were giving like our files for our couture dresses that we designed away for free. So it was kind of a combination of and an agency, but also creating our own things. And we did a lot of projects together with brands, and usually it was quite hard for them to understand what actually this digital fashion means, and it's very hard for them to leave behind the physical reality because that's what they're good at. So it was good conversations, and I'm really happy that we had those conversations. Like for instance, the project that we did with H&M, they came to us and were like, we want to create a digital fashion collection, like nothing physical, everything digital, and we want to see how our people react to it. And at first, I was like very conflicted in myself because at school I was like, always very much against these big fast fashion companies. I was like, how can I work with them? But then I also realized like you cannot hate someone forever. Like you also need to see if they're showing like signs of wanting to change and wanting to like do things differently, then why not try that out and see how it lands? Because they also have such a massive reach, and the people that are spending money there are the worst offenders. So if we can reach them with a digital fashion message, then for me that was a success. So that's why we decided to do a project like that. But now we're still talking to a lot of brands, and they're all talking about community and all this beautiful Web3 terms, but they're actually not saying anything meaningful, because then in the end it's like, oh yeah, we just want to do an NFT drop and make some money. And like, that's not going to work. You need the long-term strategy, like as well for like this, you know, this sort of, yeah, these drops, even, you know, the Dolce & Gabbana drop, great that they did it, you know, and it's great that they were creating this new world and they were very early into the space, so gotta hand it to them. But I also felt like, yeah, they did everything. Like, you could come to the atelier, try the dress, and they would be fitted on you. But the thing is, this dress was just like a copy of a real life dress, which to me is not exciting. It's not creating anything new. So, like, I think the realization is that a lot of brands don't know what the fuck this world is, and they don't even know how to get in a authentic way, because gaming and the virtual world is not their narrative. And I think that's a massive thing that we need to solve in the coming period, is how do we connect these brands? How do we make sure that they get into the space and add value? And that's always what I ask them whenever a brand comes to us. Like, it's like, what value can you add? Instead of all the value that's been taken away, how can you add value to your community? How can you actually care about the people that buy your products and not just make them feel bad for not buying your products? Because that is basically what fashion is, right? They show you an image and it's like this beautiful image of this person wearing this item, and the feeling you get is like, if I don't have this item, I'm not cool. So that's why you need to buy it. And I think that is what we're sort of moving away from, is it's more about what is the value that you're adding. And if you are a part of our community, what do you get? And that's why I like what Artifact is doing, because they're really creating value for the holders of their NFTs. And yeah, it's part of a bigger narrative, which I really appreciate.
Yeah, definitely. And creating value and making digital fashion cool, right, is the aim. Many people believe, though, that digital fashion is maybe the first step, because people need something tangible at the beginning. And I think that technology can enhance our physical clothes, right? And so that we don't need as many physical clothes, and they can be enhanced through technology. And I know, Lauren, that you are working with your concept on this. Maybe you can explain your materiality.
It's okay. We've made up a lot of words, so there's really no right or wrong way to say anything. But yeah, so I mean, my experience also, like everyone here, has come from working in fashion, trying to just improve the industry. So kind of a concept that we've created is called meta-reality. And what that means is, how do you basically take a product and adapt it to three spaces? The first, the physical world. We already have significant issues in sustainability and waste. How do you make a product that is circular, that is sustainable? So that's kind of, we're most familiar, right, with this space. So we call this the IRL in the top. And so, but digital can provide all these new opportunities in two spaces. So the second is ORL, and this would be kind of speaking about the augmented layer. So we're at this point basically waiting for technology to kind of catch up. We're waiting for glasses, we're waiting for the metaverse. So, but we still have phones that we can interact with daily to start wearing digital fashion now. So we call this the ORL, the on real life. We make up a lot of words. But so for us, there are still blocks and barriers when creating AR fashion. Let's say you make like an entire dress and you try to wear this in AR. It doesn't quite match to the neck. That's why we do photo placements, because it makes it more high quality, high rendering. So we create something more like digital embroidery with our filters. So it's more almost like a texture. It's more like an amplification of your physical self. And we're all here right now physically at a conference. I still want to wear this suit, but maybe I can now take my filter and when we have glasses, can amplify my physical self with that. And so the kind of last factor in this formula is the combination of that. And it's not only to just combine, but also to really like use each asset efficiently. So we start with the base of the physical that is made circularly, ideally zero waste. We now combine it with the ORL filter, digital embroidery, and now we create that for the metaverse, because I think we also all agree why would you wear a sweatshirt in the metaverse? I don't understand. Like, you can be on fire, you can be floating, I don't know, like, there's so many opportunities. And so, also as a designer, like, it's like a dream to make a world. And so, we then combine those to create this larger-than-life metaverse piece. But, right, we're still building the metaverse. There's a lot of constraints as far as adapting to DCL, to Roblox. Everything has, right, different requirements of file adaptation. So at the moment, we start with a high-resolution render, and then we partner with different programs, different protocols to kind of adapt those to metaverses. So the dream is, how do you create an interoperable identity, and not only stopping at digital, because I still want to go outside, I want to go to a bar, I don't want another confinement, so how can we still have that bridge between these different worlds? And I think it's really hard, like, it's one of the hardest places to start, but I think in the long term, that is where a lot of brands will go, and it is more, easier to start, I mean, not easy, but like digital twins for a Web 2 brand to understand, like, okay, I take my current product and now I adapt it to the metaverse. And so it's starting with that, but pushing it a bit further. So how do you basically take this, each format, and make it really adapted to those sustainable kind of way, and also to really like push the limits of each space?
Yeah, that's true. And you mentioned the glasses and staying in the real world, because of course our real world is beautiful outside, and I think the technology can enhance it in a more beautiful way. And actually all of us, we took some examples of how our real world can be enhanced through augmented reality. And I'm going to switch back to this project of yourself. Amber, do you want to guide us through?
Yeah, so tonight at P7 Gallery, there's an event, and we're presenting our new collection for the Fabricant label. So it's our fashion label, and there's going to be a performance and a DJ set, and you'll be able to get one of the jewels that we will show there as something to wear, and of course a float that you can collect there as well. And this is basically the first step. So if you own one of the jewels, this will unlock like more of the universe to come. So we're building this wider narrative, and the jewels are the first step. So what we really try to do is make it accessible for a lot of different people to wear digital clothing, and also make it understandable for the traditional fashion world, because I feel like there usually is a lot of still misunderstanding between that. So yeah, you can wear the cap, you can try it, the QR code sends you to a Snapchat filter you can unlock for 48 hours. And if you come to the event, you can actually own one of the jewels. So we're gonna be like, we have some bullish, bearish earrings that you can wear. So, you know, if you look this side, you feel bearish, and this side you feel bullish. So it's like stuff you can wear actually in cults and immediately kind of express yourself on how you feel. And it's really like what we do is really a combination of high fashion, but also metaverse aesthetic, and combining it with our own flavor. So yeah, trying to do something new, but more to come on that. And so I would love to see you guys if you want to join. It's tonight from 6 to 8 p.m. P7 Gallery. And if you just go to studio at the Fabricant and RSVP, then you can get in and get on the list.
Amazing, great. Actually, jewelry is something also we are inspired by at JEVELS, because we really believe that jewelry is an exclamation point of every outfit, right? It looks entirely differently when you wear some beautiful jewelry, just like you two do. I would like to jump to a project we are working on right now with JEVELS, in collaboration with Gary James McQueen, who designed this beautiful crown to celebrate the Platinum Jubilee of the Queen in England, which is going to be celebrated on the 2nd of June. So there is another AR experience you can experience, and also wear for your calls. This filter is accessible to everybody, and we are going to drop the crown also as an NFT. to open even more possibilities for wearability in virtual spaces, so not just in the augmented reality space. Yeah, so if you want to scan it and try it, feel free to do so. Here I wanted to, maybe let's talk about communities again. Because you obviously mentioned community building is very important. What do you think of DAOs? How can they help create communities in the fashion space? Lauren, maybe your thoughts on this?
Sure. Yeah, so DAO is another hot buzzword, but actually how do you build a DAO? How do you build a community that is not just hierarchical top-down, which is a big problem we also face in fashion. So at Alterrage, we're trying to basically solve two big problems. The first is how do you make product more sustainable in physical and digital worlds? And then how do you kind of remove hierarchy within an organization? So to be honest, it's very difficult to set up a DAO. There is no rules. There are several different apps, dApps, to start implementing. But kind of where we started is just really aligning on values and around like where we want to go as a fashion industry. Where do we want to go forward? How do we start to solve these problems? And how do we work together in a non-kind of hierarchical way? I think it's still important to have some kind of leadership. We call them guides in our team. We have a core team of 10 people, and each of those are experts in different areas. So we've broken Alterrage up into different spheres, and so it's like a department in a company. But ideally, anyone can join. Anyone can go through our onboarding process and start literally working with us, like starting from tomorrow. And the goal is not like this kind of standard interview process. We ask you, like, what are your skills that you want to share and what do you want to learn? And so that's kind of the starting spot of where at AlterDAO. So we have these different spheres. The one that I'm kind of guiding is more the atelier as a designer. Also, we have tech where we're developing like different AR technology. We have activism where we're trying to connect with different causes and more kind of charitable sides of how do we integrate that into our system. So it's definitely a work in progress. We're learning every day. We don't pretend like we have it all figured out, but we would love anyone who wants to join and build this new kind of future fashion industry. So kind of 2 steps if you'd like. You can join us on our Discord, which will be reset soon with a more easier onboarding process. And also you can directly meet with us in a 15-minute one-to-one just by scanning the code. So.
Great, thank you. Also, Amber, because we actually co-organized an event on your Discord, the Fabricant, to showcase some of the JEVELS designs as well. And you have a huge community of designers, and I just wanted to ask you, how do you create this community and build together?
Yeah, I think it's about being authentic. I think in this world there's so much fakeness, especially in the fashion industry. Like I'm so done with that. Like I'm done with these fake layers of like, look at me, I'm looking like this and that's why I'm cool. Like, no, fuck off. Like literally, like for me, it's really about authentically connecting to people. And that's what I think the Fabricant is really trying to do, is create that authentic connection between people and actually talk to each other and actually connect and really try to honestly help each other out and try to really not, like, that's something I really got from fashion school. It was like everything and everybody is a competition. And you go through life just like elbowing your way to the top, standing on people's, like, you know, on people's backs, and, you know, it's just horrible. And I feel like a way of working like that is not sustainable in the long term. But I feel like the change really needs to come from being honest to yourself and being honest to the people you work with to try to create a better culture. And that's why for the Fabricant, like the way we work is everybody at our company, you know, can say anything they want. There's no like limitations. We really try to create the feedback culture where everybody can chip in. And the same goes for the community. If our community like really wants to create stuff, we also work together with them. So we have a couple of projects where we gave some of our files away for free, and we did like challenges with the community where they could design with us. We do open atelier streams. So on Twitch, we just design live like we are designing and people can talk to us and be kind of an open atelier. So traditional fashion is very closed, where it's always very secretive and nobody can know what you're working on. And then there's like massive curtain reveal moment, like, wow, look, this is what we've done. But I feel like that is also very old world. Like, why can't we work on things together and have people influence what we're creating? Because that's also part of the world. And obviously, like you say, there's some level of centralization necessary in order to create things, because you want to push things forward. But these new structures of, creating shared values, and the shared values to me are really what a label means. It's a shared set of values that people want to express and want to operate under. And I think that's what we're trying to do. We have this shared message of wanting to change fashion and wanting to create a new system that's better for everyone, where everybody profits. And I think by creating that shared set of values, everybody that joins that can create their own means to doing these kind of happenings and social events and joining under that same message, joining under that same flag. And that's why, the Fabricant is really welcoming for that. So anybody that's in our community, gets to design stuff with us, which is really exciting.
Yeah, that's really great, and thank you on emphasizing on this, that we can really create this space together, and I think we already do in some way. We also started with several brands to co-organize Fashion Fridays. I think some of your collaborators are also there, so join us as well on Fashion Fridays at 5 p.m. When you follow us on Instagram or Twitter, you are going to receive the information. And every Friday there is a different brand in the focus, different topic. Last week we had virtual jewelry. 2 weeks ago. Last week I think it was fashion in virtual space. And you can also get in touch with us if you want to be on the stage and talk about your project. Last time I think we had 80 participants, and it was just the third time we organized this, so we are growing. And I think this is a great way to help each other out. You always meet people who create something and who need help. And you also can reach out and tap into the pool of huge talent. So before I think we need to close, maybe one last sentence from both of you. What is the future of fashion?
Wow. I think the future of fashion is honest connection and really going beyond the limitations of the physical reality and living your wildest fantasy.
I like that. Yeah, I would say in the future, interoperable identity, ideally, across these three spaces, physical, AR, digital, metaverse, which we're all dreaming about. And I hope also just, like you said, authenticity and just like real connection, because maybe for other industries this has already happened, but for fashion it's honestly quite new. So that's what I hope for.
Great. Well, it's difficult to top that. For me, it's to dress in anything, anytime, anywhere. And as you want. We are happy you joined us here, and if you have any questions, I don't know if we have time for that.
Yeah, you can come to us as well afterwards.
I think
we're quite recognizable, so
You're definitely recognizable.
Thanks.
But we are as well.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very
guys.
much.
Thank you.